recently China passed its Coast Guard law, which to the point allows their ships, their patrol boats, to fire at anything and at anyone they perceive to be trespassing, a threat, or poaching in their self declared territory. Now, how does this affect our patrimony and our relationship with China, etc.? Because some people are saying, wala, naninindak lang, scare tactic or bully boy tactics lang yan. We should just ignore it.
Well, this new Coast Guard law of China authorizes their Coast Guard to fire on foreign vessels, fishing vessels, or survey ships that
Mhm.
do economic activities within the waters that China claim, and that includes the West Philippine Sea. The tribunal has said that we have an exclusive right to get the fish and oil and gas in the EEZ, but in the West Philippine Sea. But China has refused to accept this, and there is a possibility that China will enforce the Coast Guard law in the West Philippine Sea. And of course, that's a possibility. But China earlier said, when President Duterte lifted the moratorium on exploration of oil and gas in the West Philippine Sea, the Chinese foreign ministry said that they will not stop our survey ships because there is a consensus, referring to the Memorandum of Understanding and Terms of Reference signed between China and the Philippines to cooperate in exploiting the oil and gas in the West Philippine Sea. So there are two conflicting signals from China. China said there is a consensus. We will not block the Philippine survey ships in Reed Bank, but China passed this law. So we have to wait for further developments if China will enforce their new law in Reed Bank or in the entire West Philippine Sea. So my advice is, let's prepare. If China will enforce their new law in the West Philippine Sea, let's go to an UNCLOS tribunal. But let's wait for a specific violation by China because there are two conflicting signals right now. This new law of China actually is a grave threat to world peace because the foundation of the United Nations is that no country can use force, can fire on ships of other countries to settle a dispute. You must go to negotiation, mediation, and arbitration in accordance with international law. And this started in 1945 with the creation of the United Nations. Before 1945, international law allowed countries to use force to expand their territory, to expand their maritime zones. That's why the world was always constantly at war. We had two world wars before 1945. But since the adoption of the UN Charter, we have prevented a third world war because war now has been outlawed as a means of settling disputes between states. What China has done with this new law is to reverse that international law. China said we can use force to settle a dispute in the South China Sea. That is contrary to international law. So this is the first time that a nation has come out with a law saying we can use force to settle a dispute among states in clear violation of international law. So the world must be concerned, seriously concerned with this development, and because this will change international law, and this will allow, if China can do it, other states will do it, and we will be back to the old scenario before the United Nations was created, where force was a legitimate means of settling disputes between
So,
states.